Jalen Hurts got his money. What's this mean for the Cowboys? $51 million a year. That's where it stands right now. And Kevin Gray and everyone else was tweeting, man, Dak is such a value at 40. And I was like, yeah, until ... Did they wait too long? Now, I think you can go back and definitely say they waited too long the first time around.
Yes.
Bobby, you and others are screaming, pay him. It's only going up. And I know Steven said, oh, we'll just wake up one day and it'll be done. Well, now you've woken up and we've gone to 51. And that is before Herbert, Burrow, and Lamar get paid.
Yeah.
So what's the strategy? I have mine, but...
Cowboys? Ooh.
The Cowboys would probably... So it's interesting. There's two ways to look at the fact that quarterback prices are always leapfrogging. There's the way that we talk about it, which is prices are always going up, so you need to lock it in at the lowest possible value whenever you can. Cowboys would probably look at it from the other side and say, we agree, prices are always going up. That means that whenever we sign him, at whatever deal we sign him, even if we wait until the last possible moment, it will be a value in 2 years, regardless of what the number is. So we can get it done now. That's fine. We're going to pay a certain amount. Even if we're paying 56 instead of 51, it doesn't matter because 2 years after it's signed, somebody will leapfrog and he'll be in the same spot as if we would have signed him now. And then 2 years, they view it as it's just a constantly moving
It is constantly
position.
It is constantly moving, but I'd rather pay 47 than 55.
But they may say that, look, I'll wait until because we're going to be in the same position regardless with the expanding cap, it's going to eat up a similar percentage and people are going to keep leapfrogging each other. What's the rush on being sure that this is who you want?
Because they've already...
What he's saying is, let's say the cap, let's make it easy. Let's say the cap is $80 million and Dak signs a $40 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in 2 years, the cap is $100 million and he signs a $50 million contract. It's exactly the same.
Yes. Now, the only advantage is if they sign that $40 million contract there, then when it goes up in a couple of years, then you're paying 40 on 100. But they would view it as, right, but if we pay 50 now, or if we wait and then we pay 50 in a couple of years, we'll be in the same position 2 years later where the cap is then 120 and we're paying 50.
Yeah, so he's at 50% in 2 years, still at 50%. And then 2 years from then, when it would be 120 million, it's the same rate as 40 to what?
Why not just lock him in for the lower number when the cap goes up?
Because they would say, for instance, right now, given the number,
let's try to make it be less than 50% of RJ's equation.
He's playing the next 2 years on an average of $40 million, right? So if he signs a deal for 50, they would view it as, why make the payment now? Why not pay him $40 million now, which is cheaper than the 50 we'd have to give him if we gave him a new deal, and we can be sure about paying him. And if we have to pay 60 at that point, we're not worried about it because the cap's going to go up and it'll be dwarfed in 2 years after he signs the deal anyway. So why the rush to pay $10 million extra just to lock him in?
Okay.
I think that's how they would look at it.
So WFAA came out with the story, are the Cowboys signaling their desire to take a quarterback at the draft. And it's got some notes, Bobby, on Clayton Tune in Houston and Aiden O'Connell.
Is that Al Tune's kid?
I don't know. Good reference, though. You know Al Tune,
Spelled
right?
different. Yeah, Al Tune, Jets receiver. Tune is Toon. Clayton Tune is Tune.
Yeah, he was just making a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Clayton Tune, Houston, and Aiden O'Donnell at Purdue. And the article says, look, they're projected to be late-round quarterbacks. Neither would be a threat to Dak's job, but they'd be wise to have someone to challenge Cooper Rush. Look, man, I know that the Cowboys are not going to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott at quarterback.
That's not true.
Unless they build up the San Francisco 49ers defense. So my hope is that someone that's a stud drops to the second round. Number 26, I mean, I'd applaud them. And I know this is never going to happen.
You would applaud them taking a quarterback at 26?
I'd applaud them for having the balls because no one has any guts in the National Football League except for Andy Reid kicking Alex Smith to the curb for Mahomes. And everyone's scared. As you wrote last night in your email, quarterbacks have every team bent over the bucket. Mm-hmm. And they just do, right? It's like you ever been in a relationship? You know deep down, it's not going to end well. But you don't want to hurt their feelings, and someone's scared to be alone, and you just stick it out, and you go through the drama and all the BS, but deep down this is not the one. That's life in the NFL without a quarterback, and that's life here with Dak Prescott, in my opinion. I know deep down that way too many things have to fall in line and have to line up and happen for the Cowboys to be in the Super Bowl and win it with him at quarterback. So I would respect their balls and their guts and them along with everyone else, and I understand why they don't have enough guts to say, we know this is not the ultimate answer, but we're too scared of the purgatory. Let's go ahead and try to find the next one.
I'm curious, though. Don't you view it like you would agree Dak is one of probably, I think you agreed with this, you would agree Dak's one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the NFC right now, right? Assuming Rodgers is gone.
Okay, Hurts. Who else are we throwing up there? Who else are candidates?
Stafford, Hurt Stafford. There's nobody in the South right now. Goff,
Cousins. Yeah.
If you go by Bobby's last year philosophy, he has to say Hurts and Goff are better.
No, again, it's not a last year thing. I don't know how this has become a thing where it's I go only off of last year.
Because it's all your opinions.
No,
that's where we're getting it from.
No, my point is the complete opposite, where I say I'm not going to go just based off of last year. It's like a picture in totality that says what they've been through the course of whatever, and so I won't necessarily jump for joy.
Let's continue with your point. I would agree with you.
So because of that, is it that unreasonable to think that they could be the best team to get to the Super Bowl? And then when you're in the Super Bowl, it's one game. You're winning a one game. And so I don't think it is this impossibility where man, they're never going to get there because of where the NFC is.
Nothing you said is incorrect. Mm-hmm. It's all reasonable and it's even possible.
Thank you.
But there's 2 ways to look at things in life.
Yep.
One is I'm here because I deserve it and I'm that good. And the other is it's like my high school Hall of Fame induction the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I won the state championship because I had to play mixed doubles at the very end when we were in districts and regionals and states. I wasn't good enough as a singles player to beat every other dude in the whole state of Maryland. I had to find this this backwards path to try to win a state championship because I couldn't do it solo.
There's another way you could have done that today.
Yeah. And so am I necessarily the proudest of that? No, I'm not. Go ahead, fist pump each other.
Give me the fist bump.
Bobby's joke. I don't want to have this mentality of, because everyone has gone to the AFC, this is my answer at quarterback. I want my answer at quarterback because I know that he's the damn goods and he is actually the best, not the best at what's left over.
The guy in 2019 that you saw, would you have said that's a guy you can win a Super Bowl with?
What was 2019 with him?
When you put a note card on your face on NBC5 that said I was wrong.
Yeah, in the first half of that season, you can win a title.
I think he was good. I think he was good. The whole
he was MVP level.
2020 before he got hurt. He obviously only played 5 games, but 2020 very good. 2021 before the calf injury, first half of the season. So I'm saying we've seen these sections of time where it's he absolutely can't. So I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation to think we can just find the consistency to make that. 2021 and 2022 have been weird years where he's had moments where he looks really good and then other moments where he's not been good enough. But I think that when you look at over the course of his entire career, especially post-Amari trade, so mid 2018 on, it's a whole lot more good than it is bad.
Yeah, look, you can win a title with Dak. There's no doubt about that.
If you do it my way and make the defense special.
They were. A lot of people thought they were special last year.
They weren't special. They were special for the first half.
Yeah, and that's the problem with defense. You can't rely on it to be great the entire year. More often than not, you're going to have your blips.
They also didn't have special enough talent to sustain it. So they have special players on defense outside of Micah Parsons.
So Diggs is special. I think Diggs is a special player.
when you have all the,
you think what?
I said I think Diggs is a special player on defense.
Okay.
I think he's special. I think the other team thinks he's special a lot of times.
Careful.
I think he's very good. I'm not going to say special.
I think he has traits that are special and rare.
Yeah, his ability catching a football.
His ability to catch a football at the position is special and rare. His ability to cover,
ball tracking, instincts, coverage ability has improved. It's the same question to me as Terrence Steele was.
Okay, fine. I'll give you Diggs. 2 players. That's not a special defense.
Yeah, it's not a special defense. Now,
boy, did you get 2 hours of sleep last night?
I'm just
you're
telling the
yelling at me.
truth. I'm just telling the truth.
This is why I had the Cowboys second in the rankings of teams that are closer to the championship, behind the Stars. Only because the Stars were in the playoffs and they were like the 2 seed. You in football, it's a one and done. All you gotta do is get on a little bit of a run.
Mm-hmm.
You get a fumble here, you get a good break. A guy drops an interception like happened in the San Francisco Rams game a couple years ago. You know, where the Rams were able to maintain a drive and win a Super Bowl. Go to the Super Bowl off that.
Yep.
It's all you need. You need a little bit of luck, and I'll tell you, it's coming. All right, 25 years of bad luck. Sooner or later, it's gonna turn. Okay, you're gonna have the other team fumble a snap on a field goal. All right, you're gonna have the other team's wide receiver drop a pass when you're the 1 seed. You're gonna have the other team's tight end not get his foot in bounds. You're going to have the other team's kicker miss a couple of 53-yard field goals at the end of regular. Like, you're going to have that. Eventually, it's all going to happen.
Again, that's the there's 2 different ways.
You're right. It is the back door.
It's the back door. Fifth pump.
If you don't want the back door, you know what the solution is? Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get Patrick Mahomes, which is draft another quarterback.
And that's what I would applaud them for that, and I would applaud them for staying away from $50 million a year. Have the stones, as Brian Broaddus said. You're the only organization who can do it. Your GM and your son aren't going anywhere. Have the guts to do it. You know deep down he's not the dude to carry you. You need too many other things to happen and go right. It's not going to happen. And I'll do something if it does happily down 75.
I'm changing my draft. I do not want them to take a wide receiver.
Hendon Hooker. If you don't want to go the back door, get Hooker.
Yep, get hooked.
You messed up my joke.
Yep.
So the reverse may actually be true. Now, look, I think if you look at this approach that everybody seems to have with Dak, and where it's like, go ahead, take somebody at 26, like I'm getting to a point now where it's like I would love to root for Dak being somewhere else. I'd like for Dak to be somewhere else because I want the. And
you can see him exposed when he has Aaron Rodgers weapons last year and they have 5 wins. Or he's in Detroit and hopes to make Amon-Ra St. Brown that good.
I know. I cannot wait to throw Ryan Leaf, Anthony Wright, Clint Sterner, Randall Cunningham, Quincy Carter, Chad Hutchinson, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Henson, Drew Bledsoe. I can't wait to throw all those guys out there in pursuit of finding this other quarterback because you walked away from what was stable. It's why Baltimore can't walk away. It's why Philly can't walk away no matter what questions you have. You cannot enter quarterback purgatory.
But that's getting into that quarterback, getting into the Chad Hutchinson
that's how
quarterback.
You get Mahomes.
That's the only way you get Mahomes. You've got to stink.
Mahomes is not going to come around but once every 10 years.
I know. But that's how you get Joe Burrow.
An Allen, a Herbert, a Burrow.
Yeah. Why don't we have the same discussion again? Flipping it back to the same talk we have about the NBA draft. Why don't we have that same discussion then about like that's the only way you're going to get Wembanyama is if you do this. There's a better chance you get the number 1 pick, get Wembanyama on the lottery odds than being over the 10-year course, tanking and finding the next Mahomes. And so to me, it's like that's a more irrational position.
I agreed with what the Mavs did. It's just an awful look. I agree. My worry is the fallout from Luke and Kyrie if they viewed the Mavs as quitters, that was an unacceptable organizational decision. I don't know that Luka's that upset about it. I think he was on a flight to Slovenia 8 hours later. I know I saw him at the steakhouse 2 hours later.
Well.
Yeah.
Did you get him that reservation too?
No, I said some things. I could have gotten escorted out of the steakhouse, but I was feeling a little buzz. I wasn't happy.
Right.
I couldn't let him just know we were going to accept these types of disappointing years. He didn't hear me. I didn't say it loud.